hate speech on the platform is up. Do you believe that X and you have some responsibility to moderate hate speech on the platform? That you wouldn't have to answer these questions from reporters about the Great Replacement Theory as it relates to Democrats?
I don't have to answer these questions.
The Great Replacement Theory as it relates to Jewish people. Do you think that?
I don't have to answer questions from reporters. Don, the only reason I'm doing this interview is because you're on the X platform and you asked for it. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I would not do this interview.
So you don't think? Do you think that you wouldn't get in trouble or you wouldn't be criticized for these things?
I'm criticized constantly. I could care less.
That was the first and last interview Lemon had on his show for Elon Musk's X, although it's complicated because he could still put his show out there. I don't know. Anyway, they kind of broke up. Musk says he canceled the show. Now, for Don Lemon, I think this is all upside. You can feel any way you want about him, but he's getting the attention that he wants. He even wound up back on CNN, which was kind of a mind blower for me. It kind of warmed my heart to see him there. But it's Elon Musk I'm thinking about. This guy has so much power, and he seems to have such feelings about the media and what tweaks him. So I want to get some perspective on, is this guy a force for good or what? Former Twitter Files journalist, remember him? Matt Taibbi had his own issue with Musk, and I trust him, so I wanted his perspective. Matt, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me on, Chris.
So what's your take?
Well, I'm probably going to agree with you on some things and disagree on others in this case. I do believe that Elon proved to be very disappointing on the free speech issue. All of us who worked in the Twitter Files felt the same way. We went in feeling tremendously optimistic that he actually meant a lot of the things that he said about being in favor of all legal speech and, being a free speech absolutist and all these other things. That proved not to be the case. He's currently disenfranchising thousands of Substack writers, including me, and no one seems to care in the press. On the other hand, in that interview, Don was asking Elon why he wasn't censoring speech more. He was asking about hate speech, which is legal in the United States. And the question, why aren't you doing more to moderate legal speech? It's a little odd to complain about a free speech issue when you yourself are asking to do the same thing.
Listen, I agree. And that's actually what Elon should have said. Instead of that, I don't have to answer your questions. I'm doing you a favor. Hubris. He should have said, Don, do you understand what you're asking me? You don't like certain ideas and certain types of speech, and you want it censored. That's not what I'm about. I agree with you 100%, but here's my feeling about it. Don is who he is. That he's not a hard read. Elon Musk is. He has tremendous power. Do you think that he wants to motivate the marketplace of ideas, or do you think he wants to control it?
That's a very good question. It's a very good way of putting it. I think that's kind of where the rubber meets the road with Elon. With me personally, I found that he tended to be very pro-speech, as long as he was actually controlling the content. That was actually where we fell out because I wouldn't move to Twitter subs and wouldn't leave Substack. So it's a difficult question. On the other hand, just going back to Don and the way he responded to him in the interview, I think I should caution people that they should read that on the level of a public relations move. Elon is very canny when it comes to the press. He knows that playing that clip plays one way to journalists, but plays a very different way to the rest of America. When he says, go F yourself, or I don't have to answer your questions, a lot of people, like 100 million people, will cheer when they see that because they feel very negatively about the press. And so you have to remember that's part of the calculation with him.
Now, Matt, you and I have no problem letting people know where our heads have taken us on issues, controversies, and figures based on our research and understanding. Do you think that's the way we have to move now? That the time for transparency has come? The old days of people assuming that reporters don't have opinions that involve in the work, they feel the opposite now. And it's time for like a Don Lemon to say, look, I'm against a lot of speech being out there if I don't like it. And I think that there should be more censorship. You know, do you think that everyone should have to do that now, that that should be the new normal for journalists?
Not necessarily. I think what the public wants from journalists is just honesty and consistency.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of News Nation's fact-driven coverage.